Do you need a kennel group for you to succeed in this dog community? You tell me. Roll that intro. In this video, we will try to discuss the pros and cons of having a kennel group in this dog community. Let me first discuss the pros of having a kennel group. Number one, having a kennel group empowers an individual. In life, there are so many aspects and there's so many circumstances wherein if you belong to a group or if you belong to a pack, you feel empowered. You feel more courageous. You feel you can tackle any obstacle. You can surpass any problem, any dilemma, because you belong to a group. And that is also true, for sure, in the bully community or in the dog community. Belonging to a group gives you that sense of security. The group or the pack gives you a security blanket that in instances where you commit mistakes, in instances that you feel like you're weak, that group can empower you. And that feels so good. And that's one big advantage of being in a group. That's why I don't blame newbies for wanting to belong to a group, especially an established group, because you feel empowered. Everybody wants to be and to feel empowered. So that's my first reason and advantage in belonging to a group. The second advantage on why belonging to a group is so advantageous is basically more heads are better than one. More heads means more ideas, more best practices being shared. For a newbie, you gain a lot of knowledge right away. It's in there already in your group. You just have to just pick knowledge, pick wisdom, and apply it to your own kennel, to your own dogs. It's already there. That's why it's so advantageous to be on a group. They got, especially if this group has a lot of accomplishments already. Breeding wise, show wise, and just basically having years and years of experience, this group surely has wisdom to impart to you as a newbie or someone who's just getting started in this bully community. The third reason on why people want to belong to a kennel group is they expect sharing of best practices. This is one of the best reasons on why people want to belong to a group. They immediately want to skip whatever trial and error the older ones in the group have experienced. And I don't blame them. This is being wise. Joining a group, you automatically gain part of the wisdom that they have learned already. Because it's automatic. Belonging to a group means being one with them. And sharing best practices, especially from your leaders, is very advantageous. Everything from starting from breeding, taking care of dogs, feeding dogs, showing dogs, how to treat them when they're sick, reliable veterinarians, they all can share it to you right away. And with this comes whatever they learn from those experiences, which is what we call best practices and best experiences. So guys, if you're new, it's nice to belong to a group for that reason. The fourth reason why people wants to join a group is the more the merrier. It's basically the sense of enjoyment, belonging to a group, the sense of happiness belonging to a group, especially going to dog shows, especially going to events, to stack-offs, to bully barbecues. It feels so good to belong to a group because you're not stranger. You're not a stranger to anybody. You don't care about getting to know other people. You're already in a group. You already belong to a pack. It's basically one reason here in the Philippines I see more and more people use or they get motivated by this reason alone for joining a group because it's basically mas masaya pag mas marami. Mas masaya if we're in a group, right? So this is the natural tendency for human beings. Let's join a group because it feels better, it feels happier. There's sense of enjoyment when you accomplish things, when you win, when you have issues, then there are people who's gonna help you. So basically, it may be one of the more shallow reason why we want to join the group. It's basically we just want to be happy. Alright? The fifth reason why we want to belong to a group is support system. What do I mean by that? In cases of emergencies, in cases of you having a busy schedule, in cases where you're not available for something, then you have a group wherein it's automatic that there is a support system. If you have an emergency and you can attend to your nursing female dog, then you have a friend, then you have a group mate that can help you with your puppies, right? In taking care of your dogs. If you have a job that requires more attention than usual, then you have friends and group mates to help you. Group mates that are not so busy as you. They can go to your kennel, they can go to your house and help you out. And there's something that I call substitution method. You have group mates that can substitute, right? Basically, if you're not present, if you can't really attend to your dogs, if you have something very important to do, you have group mates to help you out. And that's one basic, but it's so important to have a support system. The last, but definitely not the least, reason why we want to belong to a group is leadership inspires individuals. Leaders of a group, it is generally assumed that these leaders have great reputation, great accomplishments, integrity, and basically a leadership quality. Okay? This leader should inspire members to do well and not just focus on himself or herself. All right? This leader should actually be selfless because it is assumed that he or she has accomplished more than them. Then it's time for this leader to inspire members to accomplish more and more. And this will also reflect on him or her, or reflect on the group's name. This is very important. The leader makes or breaks groups. If the leader possesses that charisma, if the leader possesses a leadership skill that is firm, that is focused on achieving goals, that is focused on improving their lineups, their dogs, and not just focused on selling his or her bullies or dogs to the members, this group will thrive for years and years to come. If this leader is focused on how to improve each other's kennels and stocks, then the group will always be open to supporting him as their leader. All right? So this is one reason why people want to belong to a group. They want to be led by someone inspiring, a leader that can really provide great leadership, transparency, integrity, and being goal-oriented and not focused on himself, his pocket, his earnings. This leader aims for the betterment of its group mates, of his group, his or her group mates. All right? So those are the reasons why people want to belong to a group. There are more reasons, but I just provided 6. And on this next topic, I will provide you disadvantages, the cons on belonging to a group. The first disadvantage on belonging to a group is more heads means more opinions. More opinions means higher possibility of conflict. Why? Because there are more things to consider, right? If you're alone, then you can just discuss it to yourself or to your partner, all right? But belonging to a group, you're bound by the group's rules, right? There are a lot of opinions on something. Almost everything needs to be discussed by the group. And for sure, the more heads, it will elicit different opinions. And that is a recipe for disaster. Because not every time our wavelengths are on the same level. Our understanding is on the same level. Most of the time, it's actually the opposite. One member wants to achieve this through this path, the other one, the other way around. So the more heads, the more opinions, it means higher possibility of conflict. The second disadvantage on belonging to a group, on belonging to a kennel group, is that more people, more heads, means there are different motivations that exist amongst the group. All right? If you are 10 in a group, then expect at least 10 different motivations. Now, it is reliant on the leader on how to align all these different motivation. So you need to have good leader, a leader that would lead you really to a common goal, or a leader that has open enough mind to shift goals if one thing is not working anymore. All right? But definitely belonging to a group means if you want to accomplish this, the other members might be looking at other goals different from yours. So that's one thing that would keep you stagnant. All right? The third disadvantage on belonging to a kennel group is the disalignment of interest. Different interests exist amongst the group. On my second disadvantage, I mentioned I focus on and emphasize on motivation. Motivation can be more generalized. All right? I am motivated to be the best breeder. I am motivated to be the best in showing dogs. I am motivated to having this type of accomplishment. It's more general. But on my third one, this is more on the specific side. Different members might have different styles. They're interested on different type of dogs. Maybe they want exotics. Maybe they want cleaner dogs, American bullies. Maybe they want French bulldogs. Maybe they want English bulldogs. Right? So their interests could be entangled. Their interests are not aligned. And when they're not aligned, the greater possibility of conflict arises because you're not aligned. Again, boils down with leadership. All right? The fourth reason why it's disadvantageous to belong to a group is that you always search for individual identity. You can't have it if you're in a group, because it is assumed that your accomplishment is also an accomplishment of this group which you belong to. All right? If the policies and the rules and regulations of your kennel group doesn't allow you to venture out or do things on your own, then you will always have that sense of what is my identity in this dog community? All right. Some people doesn't want that, doesn't want their own, doesn't want to search their own identity. I accept that. I know that. They just want to belong to a group. And that's well and good. But some people I know, they want to have their own identity. That when time comes that they achieve something, they want their name stamped on it, not a group's name. All right? So that's the fourth disadvantage on why belonging to a group is somehow detrimental. The fifth disadvantage of belonging to a group is you're boxed in. You lack the freedom to move. You lack the freedom to explore things, explore other ventures, because you're boxed in to whatever that group tells you to do or that group has agreed upon to accomplish. If you're no longer interested on the group's goal, then you have a big problem. You're in a dilemma. You're in a quagmire. All right? Because you're boxed in already. You feel like you're in jail, that you can't get out of it because you're bound by the group's rules and regulations and policies. That's one disadvantage. You will lack freedom of movement or exploring other interests? What if the style you wanted all along, that group doesn't want it? What if you want to explore other style? Then that's the problem. Policies, group policies will hinder you from growing as a breeder or a show enthusiast. All right? And that's one big problem. The last disadvantage on belonging to a group is actually, for me, the most important reason. This is the lack of leadership. Here in the Philippines, more often than not, a group is formed by a group of individuals wanting just to join forces. Like I said on my advantages, on the first part of this video, that it empowers them. That is so valid, and it's very important to feel empowered when entering a certain hobby or this dog community, right? So these are usually new people gathering, converging, and forming a group. But the most important thing is leadership. Do you have a stable leadership? Do you even trust the leader that you have in your group? Let me just be very casual and direct. There are a lot of groups here in the Philippines or possibly in other countries that the leader formed because that leader wants to sell dogs to its members. Accept that. That's reality. That's one big reason why people or groups disappear in a year or two. I've known a lot of groups that are no longer existing because of that reason. Their leaders formed a group for that leader to have easy access to buyers. Then there is no true leadership because this leader is just focused on money. If your leader doesn't have the credibility, if your leader doesn't have that accomplishment, doesn't have the track record, doesn't have the integrity, then why the hell is he or she your leader? Or maybe the better question is, why are you even in that group? Why do you belong to that group? Alright? This is the biggest mistake newbies commit in entering a group. They want to be famous because the leader is the hype master. But the hype master is not always tantamount or equal to hype master, meaning a lot of accomplishments and real deal credibility, integrity, and a reputation to back up this leader. That's the problem. We just chose the leader because he's probably rich. He's probably famous. It's easy to be famous nowadays. Guys, belonging to a group, like I said, I mentioned 6 reasons of why you need to go and enter a group. But if you don't have a good leader, better vote out. After discussing the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages on belonging to a kennel group, biggest question of the day, maybe, do you need a kennel group to succeed in this dog community? The answer is no. But Can a kennel group help you succeed in this dog community? Yes. It can help you, but it doesn't mean it's the ultimate thing that you need to have in this dog community for you to succeed. Belonging to a quality kennel group is always disadvantageous. It's always beneficial to you, to everybody, to each member of the group. If there is true leadership, if the policies are transparent, the rules and regulations are agreed upon by the group, and this group has a goal-oriented, this group is goal-oriented. All right? It cannot be about the leader. It cannot be about the important member. Because be careful. You need to be careful in joining these groups. These groups have different motivation. Choose a group that you feel comfortable with. Each of us are newbies some time ago. Most of us wanted groups also. Some of us just didn't have a chance to meet quality people. That's why they don't belong to a group. But trust me, more and more people, 8 out of 10 maybe, wanted to have a group. All right? That's why there's nothing wrong in belonging to a group, but be careful. Study, study, assess, assess, assess. All right? Again, let me reiterate my statement. Do you need a kennel group to succeed in this dog community? The answer is no. But can a kennel group help you succeed? They can. It can. But it's not the ultimate reason for your success. It's not the ultimate weapon for succeeding in this dog game, dog business, dog showing. All right? A kennel group can definitely help you succeed, but it can also be the cause for your demise in this bully community, in this dog community. Choose wisely. Choose your leader. Assess yourself if you really need a group to succeed. Is success one of your focus, or you just want to have pets? You just want to have dogs. Success is relative, but definitely I support people wanting to belong to a group. Just choose quality groups. Don't be blinded by hype machine leaders, fake preachers. All right? Choose wisely, my people. Choose wisely, my friends. Don't be misled. Open your eyes, open your ears, apply the wisdom.